Throughout human history, numerous devastating pandemics have emerged, bringing unspeakable pain and suffering to humanity. Yet, from that suffering, civilization was often forced to turn to a new page. Diseases have claimed more human lives on Earth than all the wars in recorded history. The horrors of those periods were so overwhelming that humanity once questioned, could our planet be nothing more than a laboratory of the universe? If the origin of such suffering didn't come from humans themselves, then could someone, with far superior technology, have sent these things to Earth? Or even worse, is it all part of a cosmic war between galaxies? But if so, what is their true purpose? Join us as we uncover the roots of these strange signs in today's video about aliens and global pandemics. On October 13, 1917, a beautiful day in Fatima, Portugal, the clear sky suddenly darkened, as if signaling an ominous event. The sun appeared to change before the crowd's eyes, accompanied by a spinning, translucent disk in the sky. According to the account of 3 children among over 100,000 witnesses, they claimed to have seen the Virgin Mary appear in the gray heavens, delivering a message from God. But this time, she warned that God was furious with the world and that punishment would follow. What began as a supposed hoax in a quiet village soon became something many believed was a miracle. However, proponents of ancient astronaut theory argued that this was not a religious apparition, but rather an encounter with an extraterrestrial being. Though they couldn't definitively identify who she was within a religious framework, she was called the Virgin Mary. But if not her, then who was she really? Even more mysterious is the fact that less than a year later, the world was struck by the deadliest pandemic in recorded history, the Spanish flu, which is estimated to have claimed 50 million lives. Yet somehow, it was connected to the event at Fatima. Could the darkness of that day have been a visitation from a race of beings along with microorganisms from ancient extraterrestrial origins? When the plague struck the world, everything became extremely mysterious and terrifying. No one knew why it appeared or how it vanished. Of course, people tried to explain it, but everything they could imagine felt like a downpour from the sky, mixed with the anger and wrath of God. This conclusion is not entirely unfounded. In ancient Egyptian civilization, there was a god of disease known as Seth. Meanwhile, the Hittite civilization referred to their god of plague as Ira. It means fire or to burn. That was their way of explaining the intensity of the plague, something like a wildfire sweeping across barren lands or boiling water gone astray. In the 430s BC, a brutal and bloody war broke out between Athens and Sparta. Gradually, the images of war began to pale as the terrifying presence of the plague took hold at that very moment. They felt different, then gradually began to vomit and suffer from terrible diarrhea. Eventually, their fingers turned black and they died. Thousands of bodies decomposed throughout the city, creating a horrifying scene. People wondered whether the Plague of Athens was the result of a biological weapon from the war or something else not from Earth. According to the beliefs of the ancient Greeks, the plague was very likely a curse from the gods, the wrath of God, or possibly the wrath of alien beings themselves. They wanted to control us, fully manipulate us, and change us entirely. In many reports of the plague from Athens, there were strange phenomena in the sky. These objects appeared, described as emitting a brilliant golden light, causing hallucinations of brass-colored ships in the sky, along with strange creatures. In Islamic texts, it was clearly stated that even during the day, the sky could suddenly darken. People were terrified by storms of meteors and comets impacting the Earth. Ultimately, The connection between deadly plagues and strange phenomena appearing in the sky has occurred frequently throughout history. What truly happened? What truly happened in ancient history? Perhaps most modern scientists would call it superstition, but thousands of years ago, it was considered reality. Strange phenomena and mysterious plagues continued to appear throughout history. It was in October of the year 1347 when 12 ships from the Black Sea arrived at the port of Messina in Syria. The people present at that time witnessed something horrifying. Most of the sailors aboard those ships were already dead. Those who were still alive were gravely ill, their bodies covered in black, bleeding sores that were rotting away. The disease spread rapidly across Europe and soon became known as the Black Death. This plague was seen as an act of divine punishment for humanity's sins. What you received was a slow death, prolonged and painful. Within just 5 years, the disease had wiped out nearly 1/3 of Europe's population, something that had never happened before. In today's numbers, that would be over 300 million people dead. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next exciting adventures. And just like in previous plagues, the outbreak of this disease was accompanied by strange sightings. People reported seeing a ship made of bronze appearing in the misty sky. What kind of phenomenon do you think would match such a description? When they asked, "What is it really?" modern theologians believed it was a sign that demons were about to descend upon England. But few realized that it wasn't demons. It was death itself, in the form of the plague, preparing to take lives not just in England, but across all of Europe. If you ask a historian today, they would say it was merely a hallucination. But how could thousands of people all share the same hallucination? A similar phenomenon also occurred in 1731. A UFO was seen flying over England, Ireland, and Romania. It appeared exactly 1 year before the global flu pandemic in 1732. People saw a strange red object in the sky. At times, it gave off so much heat that those nearby had to remove their clothing. The French humanities researcher Conrad Lycosthenes noted in her records that a comet had been seen in Egypt during the 1400s. As you can see in the woodcut illustrations, it looks like a rocket. Comet was simply the name they gave to something unusual moving across the sky. But if alien invaders really did come to Earth and spread disease, then what was the reason behind it? Were they trying to build our immune systems, or were they attempting to wipe us out entirely? Could it be that we are just a laboratory of the universe? All of these possibilities could be true. However, if extraterrestrial beings had such a sinister program, then why not just attack our planet with a weapon of mass destruction? All they would need to do is release poison into the air, spread disease, and a few viruses. There's no need to make it that complicated. Another explanation may offer something even more astonishing than the story of the bronze-colored spaceship, because it is a very simple hypothesis with powerful potential. It has caused traditional scientists to scratch their heads and let go of their long-held biases. In 1540, Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, who explored the land of the Aztecs, now known as New Mexico, arrived with soldiers who brought devastation using a weapon they didn't even recognize: disease. Smallpox, chickenpox, and measles spread among the native populations faster than anyone could imagine, while the carriers of the viruses were immune to them. This led to the conclusion that explorers with just 900 soldiers may have wiped out entire communities. It is estimated that as many as 1 million people, or even more, may have died simply because they were exposed to the viruses brought by white men. For many ancient astronaut theorists, the possibility that alien plagues were spread in a similar manner is entirely plausible. Visits from outer space may have unknowingly brought diseases to Earth. But could these microorganisms survive a journey through the stars to reach our planet? Many scientists believe the answer may lie in a group of microorganisms known as extremophiles. Life forms capable of surviving in extreme conditions: high temperatures, low temperatures, high pressure, low pressure, even environments that would kill most other life. Therefore, interplanetary travel might not be such a huge barrier to life. Life has already been found in nearly every extreme environment on Earth, and that is truly fascinating. Because other planets have vastly different living conditions from Earth, this discovery brings hope. If life can survive in almost every unique condition on Earth, then it might also exist on other planets. For this reason, when astronauts landed on the Moon, they took great care to quarantine themselves from any potential viruses. In the same way, ancient extraterrestrials may have arrived on Earth wearing hazmat suits to protect themselves. In 2006 and 2008, biologists involved in several space missions conducted experiments and discovered something terrifying. Bacteria, when living in a zero-gravity environment, actually grew by up to 700%. This is yet another sign that bacteria could be visitors from outer space. From the events at Fatima to the Black Death, no one truly knows why they occurred or how they shifted humanity's view of war. Something without weapons, without military academies, without upgrades to defense systems. Yet it killed people with the least effort possible. On September 15, 2007, residents of Caracas, Peru, witnessed something mesmerizing. A fireball resembling a meteor streaked across the sky with cutting trails. There was a loud explosion and an impact that violently shook the ground. Something massive and mysterious had crashed into the Earth, creating a giant crater and scattering debris nearly a mile in every direction. Wonder quickly turned into fear when, just a few days later, hundreds of people in the area began falling ill with intense symptoms. Could those fireballs have been the cause of the widespread illness? However, this was never officially explained by the local authorities. But why would a meteor impact cause sickness to so many people when it is supposed to be sterile, free of bacteria or toxic gases? It would be a mistake to assume that all bacteria originate from Earth. They have adapted to spread across this planet, so why couldn't they also exist on other planets or within other systems in the universe? Even within the space rocks we call meteorites. In 2006, a NASA spacecraft named Stardust flew through the tail of Comet Wild 2 and collected particles using sticky blocks of material called aerogel. After returning to Earth and being meticulously studied, the findings shocked even the most skeptical scientists. Many organic compounds were found, including the amino acid glycine, one of the fundamental building blocks of life. Thus, we can tentatively conclude that asteroids and meteorites might truly be delivery systems for viruses, extraterrestrial microbes, or other forms of alien life. It's even possible that strange pathogens and deadly diseases were the result of transporting life through space. For this reason, I believe comets are natural spacecraft. We could see them as the origin of celestial anomalies. They were once the ultimate terror of ancient civilizations, and some beliefs held by primitive peoples of the past. Can we still call them superstition? If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next exciting adventures. In the 1960s, Harold Urey, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1934, made major contributions to the development of a new scientific field known as cosmochemistry. He proposed the hypothesis that meteorites might contain fossils of space bacteria. This idea was almost immediately rejected by most prominent scientists in the United States. However, more recently, in March 2011, a NASA scientist named Richard B. Hoover announced evidence of life found in meteorites. He made an extraordinary discovery. He found images of microorganisms that resemble modern life forms. This research was published in the Journal of Cosmology in March 2011 and sparked one of the biggest controversies in the history of science. If extraterrestrial bacteria truly entered Earth's atmosphere, it's entirely possible that they were sent intentionally. Or it may have been an attempt to invade our planet by embedding them in rocks, hoping they would fall to Earth. From there, a wave of violent epidemics could be unleashed, aiming to wipe out the population of this planet. In July 2001, a massive explosion occurred in the atmosphere, followed by a mysterious red rain that fell over a large area in southern India. Local residents believed it was a sign foretelling the end of the world. The phenomenon evoked ancient legends about blood falling from the sky. Dr. Godfrey Louis, a physicist at Mahatma Gandhi University, suggested that something unusual had taken place. His analysis revealed the presence of extremely small biological cells in the rainwater. However, since these cells did not contain DNA, the essential component of all known life forms on Earth, he hypothesized that they might be life forms of extraterrestrial origin. Louis argued that these particles could be alien bacteria capable of surviving extreme conditions in space. They may have been trapped inside a comet or meteorite, which exploded in the upper atmosphere, mixed with the clouds, and caused red rain over the affected region. In 2005, Louis sent several test samples to Sri Lankan-born astronomer Chandra Wickramasinghe and his colleagues at Cardiff University in Wales. Through their research, Professor Wickramasinghe stated, "We have amazing images of the sliced cells. We saw them multiplying, smaller cells growing inside larger ones." Lewis's theory became particularly compelling to Wickramasinghe, who, a quarter-century earlier, had co-authored with Fred Hoyle the hypothesis of panspermia. They jointly proposed the groundbreaking idea that primitive and strange life forms on Earth may have originated from another planet and been transported here via comets or meteorites. Though once dismissed as pseudoscience, this theory has increasingly gained serious attention. There are no official reports confirming a direct link between these mysterious events and outbreaks or mass deaths in Kerala, India. However, if these phenomena do indeed contain deadly microbes, then treating them as mere accidents or natural curiosities could be a grave mistake. In reality, this might be part of a highly sophisticated plan orchestrated by some intelligence beyond Earth. Imagine a microorganism or virus arriving from a distant planet. It could exceed everything we know. It might assimilate, manipulate human emotions, or worse, unleash a disease capable of altering the course of human evolution. It's not an exaggeration to say this could be how extraterrestrial forces silently control humanity. As previously mentioned, spaceborne bacteria have an extraordinary ability to mutate and thrive in zero gravity. Comets may be the perfect vessels, delivering life or death to Earth. We once believed they brought life to our planet, but what if they also carried the seeds of destruction? Some scientists estimate there are up to 5 times 10 to the power of 30 viruses currently on Earth. An unfathomable number. If even a tiny fraction were activated, we could be facing a planetary-scale civilization reset. Something may already be in motion, preparing to affect Earth in ways we cannot yet grasp. The real question is, are we strong enough and fast enough to respond before it's too late? Throughout history, there have been diseases that cause the human body to decay in the blink of an eye. This raises the question, do strange beings not from Earth truly exist? For thousands of years, humanity has wrestled with one haunting thought. Are we alone in the universe? If deadly bacteria or viruses once arrived on Earth from distant worlds, they could serve as evidence of extraterrestrial life, or even the first form of contact delivered through pandemics. Could it be that intelligent beings from other planets are trying to reduce our population or preparing us for something far greater yet to come? What matters most now isn't just how we fight global pandemics, but how we choose to live better, more aware lives every day. In the past, people believed disease was a punishment from the gods. But today, perhaps it's time to broaden our perspective on illness, on the possibility of alien life, and on the uncertain future of humankind. We invite you to share your perspectives and insights on the possible origins of these life forms in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming videos.